Right, Dill. Thanks for joining me, mate. Talk a bit about NAIDOC Week. First off, I'll just get you to tell me a bit about who you are and who your mob is.
Yep. So my name's Dylan Murphy Pettit. I'm a proud Waka Waka man. So my mob's from Cherbourg, southern Queensland, on my mother's side, and then on my father's side, I've got ties to the Wiradjuri and the Wamba Wamba tribes. So Swan Hill area and also New South Wales as well. So big mob there. Yeah, and I grew up on Gunai Kurnai country, so down Traralgon and Gippsland for people who've been down there. So yeah, that's where I grew up. But yeah, now living on lands of the Lachi Lachi and Barkindji people in Mildura, Victoria. So
Yep,
yeah.
nice and hot up there. All right,
Mm,
tell me a bit about what you do for work, mate, what you've done in the past and how you got there.
yep. Yeah. So it's been quite a whirlwind of a journey to get where I'm at now. So I currently work at the Corinne Gamage Institute as the KGI Real Healthy Programs Officer. So the Corinne Gamage Institute is the Indigenous department, for lack of a better words, for the Richmond Football Club. And so basically we deliver health and leadership programs to Indigenous youth across the state. So I work there as a program officer, helping deliver a new program. I guess what got me to there was I did a year of study last year through Swinburne and the Richmond Football Club. But prior to that, I was working as the youth support worker at Bendigo District Aboriginal Cooperative for about 14 months. I was there for. So yeah, changed careers a fair bit, but yeah, I've still been just trying to fine tune and find what area I'm best suited to. So yeah.
Yeah, deadly. So obviously I met you at Badak through your youth group there. So what did you take out of working there and how can our staff use Badak going forward to help customers?
Yeah, it was quite a it was quite like a learning experience, learning curve. Like obviously, as you know, just general Indigenous community members, whenever Indigenous affairs are brought up, you're just straight sort of that go-to person from a personal aspect. But obviously, when you're working at an Aboriginal cooperative, it's taken to your work life as well. So you'll have a lot of organisations and groups sort of come to you and just say hey, how can we work better with Indigenous community, local young mob. So yeah, it was the best. It was learning how to do that. How to cater each relationship with each organization to make it best suit for not only yourself, because you've got to hit your targets and stuff as well, for lack of a better word. Making sure you're still doing your role, but also making sure that the other organizations are getting what they need out of the relationship. Probably I learned I learned so much actually thinking back at that. I guess the importance around maybe just rephrase the question again, bros.
Just like what you learned from Badak and how our
Yeah.
staff can use Badak to like refer customers and to help
Yeah.
support customers.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I remember, like, obviously when I was there, like, obviously yourself and others, Annie Sue,
Only Sue, yeah.
Annie Sue, yeah, she'd always come in and stuff and look to support mob and all that sort of stuff. That stuff's great. And then obviously, you guys are doing things, you try to do things through NAIDOC and Rec Week and those sorts of things. But yeah, I think it's just keeping that communication and being open to those relationships pretty much the whole year round. I know yourself, you're pretty passionate about making sure that it's it was a 52 day of the week commitment and relationship to sort of try and bridge the gap, so to speak. So I think it's just being open to working with that as well when they come to you, as opposed to when you guys just go to them. So that I'm sure they, between all the clients and the mob that they work with, they've got they need plenty of support. So that's why they've got the establishment there, so to try and bridge the gap. So feel free to just always like reach out, say, hey, do you guys do you need a hand with so and so, depending on what that person's role is within Centrelink. Say hey, we want to hey, we want to support you guys or support your clients, and just sensing that it's from a genuine place, I guess, so to speak. I think Aboriginal people, especially other people, are very good at reading, like reading people and reading like what they're trying to get out of things. So we can sense whether something's actually genuine, even though we might not say it. So that'll also dictate, the information we get out. So the more that we get from you guys, the more that we'll be willing to receive, the more that we'll be willing to give out.
Yeah, perfect. That's what I found too. Like communication's probably the key between us and Badak. I think the more we keep those lines open, I guess the more access we're going to have to each other and more support for community. So perfect, mate. So what does NAIDOC mean to you, and what does the theme always will be, always was, always will be mean to you?
Yeah. Oh man, NAIDOC. Oh, I can't even really describe it. Really, it's like, I'm sure, like most, most mob will say, it's like a second birthday for them, or a birthday week, so to speak. Just seeing Aboriginal people put to the forefront, being, I guess, celebrated. Also to showcase and share their culture as well is really important. That's, and obviously just as Aboriginal people, just a perfect opportunity through all the events, the marches, the balls, everything like that, to just come together and just without any negative things happening in the press, or what I mean. It's just like seen as a overall just positive theme, but also remembering that what it stems from. It stems from people before us marching to actually protest, so that we do get events like these nowadays. So also acknowledging them and their sacrifices. So I see it as a bit of both.
Yeah. Take anything out of the theme for this year?
The theme, I think it's perfect timing for this sort of theme. I think with everything that's been happening this year, to see such an iconic slogan that our mob have always used throughout thousands of years is throughout the last couple hundred years has been it's been perfect, really. Like it shows that it lets everyone know that we're the caretaker, we're the best people to care for this land more than anyone else. You just think about pre-1788, there wasn't any out of control bushfires, there wasn't any fracking, there isn't anything like that. We all live in one with the land. So not saying that the land is ours, but we care for it like no one else. It's just acknowledging that, really. I think so much potential can be beneficial to this country if we work with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. And that's what it means to me.
Yeah, I think, like you said, the timing of this slogan for this year is basically perfect with everything that's gone on in the last 24 months or so.
100%.
So what do you usually do during NAIDOC week?
I'm barely able to sit down during NAIDOC week because there's always an event on, or there's just so many different things. So it depends on what community I'm at the time. So pretty much every year, I'm doing most, and it depends on what I'm doing for work as well, because obviously I work in Aboriginal affairs, so my organisation is obviously doing events. So we'll be doing things such as we'll be doing a youth program, engage with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander young people during, it could be a 1 or 2 day event. Then I'll head to say the local cooperatives event, support them as well. I'll just there'll be obviously some networking and stuff there as well. Probably do something could be a Zoom thing like this as well, a couple of talks. And then, obviously, we've got big things such as the NAIDOC March, which happens in Melbourne every year, or it happens in every capital city. But then, obviously, some smaller communities like Mildura, they've done ones in the past, like their own little small NAIDOC marches, which has been really good. And that's just for the purpose of getting everyone together, just celebrating and just having, obviously, extending that invite out to non-Indigenous people as well. I think it's important to have them, a part of that, because we walk with them, we share this country with them. So have them, learn more about, not only our struggles, but our successes as well, as Aboriginal people. So it'll be the marches, and then, there'll be there's usually a ball in all capital cities. So I head to the NAIDOC ball, which is usually pretty good way to end NAIDOC week. So, you get all dressed up and you just all come together in a nice flash area. So it's good.
So what does non-Indigenous staff and non-Indigenous people supporting and celebrating NAIDOC week and other Indigenous people mean to you? And what do you think it means to other Indigenous people as well?
I think what I was saying earlier about the whole meaningful relationships discussion we were having, the more that we see that, non-Indigenous people are invested and actually genuine about wanting to learn more about Aboriginal culture, learning about history, pre-1788 and post-1788. I think, yeah, the more that we're going to be open to sharing with non-Indigenous people as well. So, yeah, I guess that's the one thing that I can sort of share on that. That's my probably main thing, I think, is, if we see you guys at the marches, at events, wanting to ask the questions, like ask even the tough questions, like why is there an NAIDOC week, or why is this happening in the social justice space at the moment? Like, I think that's more, and you listen with the intent to, ask with the intent to listen, not the intent to respond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And leading into the last question I had for you, apart from what you've already touched on with communication and still attending the marches and the activities around NAIDOC Week, what would you say to non-Indigenous people and our staff about NAIDOC Week?
Yeah, I think it's just like like you've got that 1 week there, and that's a perfect opportunity, I'd say, to engage with Indigenous community, Indigenous people, if you haven't already. But just bear in mind that there are 51 other weeks throughout the year as well. So, and like I keep saying before, I'm going to keep saying, because it's such a key message, is, keep that that communication, that interest as consistent as you can really throughout the week, because that's what's going to, I think, lead you in your role, and personally, you're going to learn and, gain more insight to Indigenous peoples. The more you do it, it's like anything, the more questions you ask, the more things you're open to receiving, the more you'll learn, and the more you'll come to respect and grow, essentially.
Yeah, totally. All right, mate. Thanks for that. I'm sure our staff are going to take a lot out of this. Obviously, there's a lot of learnings from what you've said. It's good to have another voice apart from me and Sue rambling on all year. So it's good to have someone else there. So thanks for that, mate. And yeah, hopefully we get something good out of it.
Definitely, anytime, bros. Yeah. If you have any questions from any of the staff, just feel free to flick through to me as well. If you need it, if you want another perspective, or just some, something you might not, be comfortable in sharing. But all good.
Deadly, bros. No worries. Thank you very much.
All right, take it easy, brother. See yous.
Yeah.